Being intentional with dream work allows me to receive messages, connect with different energies and spirits, to go through initiations and activations, to become aware of my spiritual gifts, and more importantly, remember who I truly am and what I'm here to do. I used to experience a lot of what some people call psychic attacks, night terrors. I used to experience sleep paralysis, and it was a really, really tough experience. It wasn't until I created a ritual around my dream state that I was able to transmute that experience and get the most out of my dream work. In today's video, I'm going to share with you my personal dream work practice. Hey there, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Anna Davila. I am a purpose mentor, a breathwork facilitator, and a shadow work specialist. Like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on more videos like this. So let's talk about first my experience. Most of my childhood, or really all of it, and most of my adulthood, I just had really tough experiences where in dreams or nightmares or night terrors, whatever you want to call it, I was being chased. I was being attacked. There was always some type of physical or energetic harm being done to me, or the attempt of that, and me trying to run away from it and survive. And in a lot of these experiences and dreams, there were moments in that dream state where I would realize this is possibly a dream. I would get into a state where I'm half asleep and half awake, where I'm aware I'm in my bedroom, I'm asleep, and I wouldn't be able to wake myself up. I would try to make a noise and scream. I would try to move a body part, and it was a really scary experience. And so I remember as a child, there was a lot of different things done to try to help me through this, including having holy water being thrown at me, having holy water near me, a prayer before going to bed, having different, I don't even know what they were, specialists come over and give their opinion on my experience. And that actually freaked me out a little bit more, because then I started to realize, well, if everyone else is worried about this, then this is something to worry about. And so I would try to just shut it all down, try not to think about it, try to distract myself. And when I would have that experience and somehow would wake up, I would try not to go back to sleep. Fast forward to when I became an adult. And so I remember thinking, I'm a grown-ass woman. Like, what the F is going on here? Like, why am I so scared in my dreams? Like, there's something here. And thankfully, I ran across a spiritual teacher. I don't remember her name, but she said something and gave me this advice of creating a ritual around my dream state. She just opened me up to the possibility that what if those dreams are messages? And because I keep running away from them and labeling them as something scary or something bad or something that I don't want, they're actually getting scarier and scarier. This is when I started already doing breath work and noticing that there was a lot of trauma in my body, in my psyche, and in my energetic field that was still there. And possibly it was trying to process through my dreams. Now, let me tell you what my current experience is with my dream state, and then I'll talk about my process. So currently, my dream state is so potent and powerful. I receive a lot of messages. I do a lot of energetic work. I do some astral projection. I actually connect with spirits and energies with my higher self. I also gain mastery over my soul gifts, my spiritual gifts, and I do that through practicing in my dream state. I'm going to share with you an example. It's a little bit vulnerable to share, but I want you to know how potent this can be when you do dream work. And so I was in a space where I was coming across the goddess Hecate. She just kept coming across, and I'm just like, I'm good, thanks. No. And it kept coming across. And I'm like, I became a little bit more curious. I looked into what this goddess stands for, what's her deal in a way. And I got a lot of different gnosis. I got a lot of different opinions, and there's a lot of different literature and interpretations of this particular goddess. I was very unsure if I got to work with her, if working with her was the best thing for me. And so I decided to just request a very clear sign that I meant to work with her. Just, is it in alignment for not just me, but for you, for us to work together? I'm not trying to force something because my ego thinks that's what I should do. I also don't want to push something away because of fear or doubt or feeling like, that's a little bit too intense for me. So I requested a symbol, a sign through my dream state if I was meant to work with her or not. And either way, I would respect that. So there was one night where I did my little ritual. I went to sleep, and the experience I had was so freaking incredible. It was just one of the strongest experiences I've ever had in my dream state. And it was me sleeping, right? But then all of a sudden I'm aware that I'm in my dream and everything is pitch black. I felt this blanket of calmness. And all of a sudden I see this feminine figure come up, and I already knew it was her. I knew it was her presence. And so I glanced, and the figure that I saw, like the shape, the way that she presented herself to me, was unlike anything that I had seen during my research, in other books, in drawings, and any type of depiction of her. And as soon as I saw her, I knew. Like, I felt an energy running through my body, and it was a clear yes. It was not a lot of fuss or bells and whistles and explanations. It was just yes. That was the answer to my question. Yes, we get to work together. So that was extremely potent. And I started working with her, and it's been such a beautiful, amazing journey where I've grown so much. I've learned so much. And so if you want me to make a video on my experience with working with Hecate, definitely let me know. I'm not sure if that's something that you're interested in, but it's taught me so much. And I would not have started that process unless I had set up the processes of being able to experience energies through my dream state. These are little ways that dream states can really support you, because there are times in your awake state where you're so distracted, right? In the dream state, you're already in a semi-meditative state, and you're more open to receiving messages, whether it's coming from your higher self, from your soul, from your spirit, from your ancestors, from your guides, from different energies you're working with. Let's talk about my actual process. There has been a lot of different iterations of this until I felt like it fit me. But also I'm open to tweaking it depending on what season of my life I'm in. There are two main phases: before sleep and then when I wake up. So phase one is before going to bed. Before going to bed, I sit down on my bed and I take a deep breath in. I close my eyes. I will clear the energy of the day or the moment that just happened. I just clear the energy, and I do that through either visualization. I do that through smoke cleanse, through sound, whatever way feels good that day. I close my eyes. I, really ground myself, take a nice deep breath in, and I start to just create this beautiful energetic sphere around me. And this is me setting energetic boundaries so that I experience what I'm meant to experience. I'm not available for whatever randomness energies are out there. I'm available for what is for my highest good. And I like to use that language, what's for my highest good, because I'm not trying to love and like the whole thing and just things that feel good. Because sometimes what's for my highest good is actually a tough experience, and I'm available for that. I set the intention, and I actually like to make the statement so that my conscious and subconscious mind are on board. As I enter my dream state, I experience, and then I talk specifically about what I want to experience. And you can be very focused on one particular thing if you're working on something specific, or you can mention a few things. So I'm going to give you an example. As I enter my dream state, I receive messages from my higher self, from my guides, from my ancestors. I do shadow work in a way that serves my nervous system, serves my body, serves my psyche, serves my spirit. I also reveal my soul gifts and work them to gain mastery over them. I remember the dreams that I have, and I integrate them throughout the day. So that's an example of a more broad intention for your dream state. And so if I encounter something that brings up fear, I blow the sacred breath of fire, and I dissolve the illusion to reveal the truth, to reveal the lesson, to reveal the gift. And that calms my nervous system enough to stay open and actually move through the entire experience to get the actual message, to get the actual activation or the healing or whatever is happening. Sometimes during your dream state, shadow work is happening where it's actually you. The thing you're experiencing isn't someone sending you a psychic attack. It's actually you sending it to yourself because you haven't done the shadow work. It can be from a different lifetime. It can be from this lifetime. It can be ancestral, equipping yourself with these sacred, beautiful weapons of the breath, of the energetic boundaries is going to support you in moving through this. Once I've set that intention, I like to use an anchor. An anchor to me is something that brings it into a tangible state. For me, it was really helpful to drink tea and make that the anchor and be intentional with the kind of tea. So maybe a tea that has herbs that are supportive of sleep and calming your nervous system, or drinking tea that is supportive of opening up your dream state and, psychic abilities. And then I would finish, and then I would go to sleep. Before I move to the second phase, let me just quickly mention astral projection. This is a huge, huge topic. So I'm not going to get into all of it, but just know that if you haven't done a lot of work around this, or you don't feel comfortable with astral projection, you don't have to do that to experience dream work. You can, in a way, create this beautiful sacred space that you do dream work, and you don't have to travel to any other place or whatever other dimension or portals or whatever people are working with. You get to honor yourself and where you are. After you wake up, what do you do to get the most out of your dream work? So number one, take the time to see if you remember your dreams. Even if you don't remember dreaming, just know that you did dream. And it's okay to not remember it because you've already set the intention that you're doing the work. So whether you're consciously aware of it or not, it's working. It's working on your physical body, on your energetic body, on your mental body. It's working. But if you take the time to see, did I dream today, or what did I dream today? See if you can remember what you dreamt, even if it's just like glimpses of it. Also recall how you felt. If you do remember the dream, or maybe you don't remember all of it, but just notice, how did I feel? Was it a calm dream? Was it something that was really exciting? Was it scary? Did I feel anger? Like, how did you feel during that dream? Just recall it. You don't have to know what it means. You don't have to try to make sense of it just yet. Just recall your feeling. And this is really helpful to take the time to write it down, whether you do that in a journal or you do that in your notes on your phone, whatever is more convenient for you, because modern witchery, okay, we get to use digital products as well to support us with our magic, and just write it down. And then you're going to set an intention that whatever information and messages and clearings and activations and whatever went down in your dream state is going to continue to unfold for your highest good. There have been many times where I go about my day, I don't really remember what I dreamt, but I go through that ritual, and maybe 10 hours later, I am in the supermarket, I see someone with a red scarf, and then it triggers the memory, it triggers the entire thing. And I feel this energetic flow, and my mind is on board, and I remember the imagery, and I'm like, thank you. And then I just allow that to continue to integrate and unfold within me. And then I get home and I journal about it. And whatever way, just continue to acknowledge it so that I can get stronger and stronger. I just want to leave you with this. Some of the dreams you have may feel scary. Some of them may make you confused. Like, what was that even about? It was like some randomness. And that's okay. You don't have to understand it on a mental level, but just trust the process. Trust that whatever messages came through energetically are working. Sometimes you don't remember an experience, not because nothing happened, but because your soul, your higher self, loves you and cares about you so much, and they understand that you're possibly not ready to mentally acknowledge what that was, that it's going to go through your subconscious where you're not even aware of what happened. And that makes it a lot more gentle, especially if it's tough work. So just trust the process. If you feel a little bit curious about this work and maybe there's a little bit of fear and you're unsure, I encourage you to check in with your intuition. If you haven't done a lot of work with intuition, I do have a few videos on that. So check in with your intuition. Your intuition is always going to guide you towards what's for your highest good. And like I mentioned, what's for your highest good isn't always comfortable. And so lean in. And I actually would say that if there's a little bit of fear, this is something you get to step into. This is something you get to lean into. It's a practice that you can have in your toolbox to support you in different seasons of your life. If you have any questions at all, or if you would like some recommendations for you specifically and what to add to your ritual for something specific that you're wanting to experience, let me know in the comments. I would really love to support you in any way that I can. And also consider liking and subscribing so that you don't miss out on more videos like this. And I will see you on the next one.